Live from the leader of high school football coverage in the Permian Basin, this is First Alert 7's Friday Night Blitz. Brought to you by Odessa College, United Supermarkets, and Dr. Pepper. Now, here's First Alert 7 Sports Director Jair Brooks Davis and Jensen Young.
And welcome back to the Permian Basin's most in-depth and most experienced high school football show, where we cover the most games, a lot of scores, a lot of highlights, and a lot of rivalry games. This is our second rivalry game of the season. But before we even get into that, Jensen, what was your thoughts heading into tonight?
I mean, heading into tonight, we've seen how good a lot of these teams are and how exciting district play has been. So, I mean, I was expecting more of the same, and we got more of the same.
That is 100% correct. Legacy versus Permian. This is a historic rivalry. Everyone talks about this going back to the 1970s, 1980s, and beyond. Like their grandmothers, their great grandmothers, their moms, their dads.
Everyone has a story with this game.
Everyone has a story with
Yes.
it. Last year, Legacy, they were upset by Permian, and the year before, Permian was upset by Legacy. Now, before we even go into the game tonight,
Okay.
Jensen, a game like Legacy and Permian brings a lot of drama, a lot of predictions.
Of course.
Let's hear from former Permian head coach John Wilkins and his thoughts heading into tonight's game and how it will go.
Okay.
You know, the district has been going for the last few years, last 3 or 4 years. It should be a lot of scoring. I mean, I'd be surprised if there's not a lot of scoring. I mean, it seems like the defense, somebody just told me recently, once the defensive coordinator gets one stop, they yell a big clap. I mean, one stop in a game can mean a difference. It could be that way tonight.
Maroon versus Mojo at Ratliff Stadium will start with the Rebels on third down. JP Reyes finds Caden Iglesias in the end zone to give Legacy an early 7-0 lead. Now Mojo responded shortly after. Jacob Garcia on the toss over to Tyron Williams. Cole Neverland in pursuit, unable to catch him. Trey Jefferson unable to catch him as well. Williams makes it to the end zone for the touchdown, and we are tied at 7 apiece. Now Rebels looking to get back on top. JP Reyes looks downfield and he finds Caden Ellis in the end zone. Legacy bounces back with a 14-7 lead. Permian was looking to get something going offensively. Jacob Garcia passes. He gets picked off by Trey Jefferson. He returns it to the land of 6 with an extra point. Rebels lead 21-7. Now Permian still looking for a spark offensively. They go to that man, Gavin Black. No one in front, daylight ahead. Dick Moore in pursuit. He takes Black down in the red zone. Now on the very next play, Gavin goes in for the easy touchdown. No one in front. Permian, they trail 21-14 now. Now, no sweat for the Rebs because right after, JP Reyes throws a deep shot to Aiden Serrano in the end zone for the touchdown, making 28-14 Rebels. Garcia says 2 could play that game. This time he finds Landon Robles, who evades the Rebel secondary. He takes it to the end zone for the touchdown at the end of the first half. Legacy led 28-24. Let's check out the final score. Legacy, they got the win 49-38 over the Permian Panthers. I mean, the undefeated Permian Panthers,
that is a huge result. I didn't know if we would see a 1 in the right side of the record for Permian at any point. 7-0 going into the game. Legacy was 2-5 going into the game, I believe. So when you look at it on paper, looks to be going the way of Permian. But yeah, Legacy very much stepped up. JP Reyes looked like he had a stellar night under center.
That is 100% right. I think that he was a little bit too slow in terms of just trying to get the ball out here and there. He's a sophomore. Remember, he's stepping in for Jaden Rogers, who went down with a torn ACL for the season. And as for the Permian Panthers, I mean, well, actually, before we even get to the Permian Panthers, just still sticking with the Legacy Rebels, it has sort of been a gloom and doom season so far for Midland Legacy, but one thing that has really convinced me is the way of how they were able to keep it close against the Friendship Tigers last Friday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I think it was only a 1-point game, that one against Friendship. 3-point game. Okay, gotcha. So, yeah, Legacy, we've seen them show signs of being really good, but we've also seen them lose games by a large margin. A lot of that was at the beginning of the year, which is why they already have 5 losses on the season. But we have seen some promise, and hey, that was realized tonight.
Yes, one person that I have to give a huge shout out to is Cole Neverland, is because he is now taking kick returns and he is also going ahead with punt returns. So I mean, for him to do what he was doing, he was setting Legacy up in very great field position tonight, Jensen, which was very, very key. Another huge key for tonight's game was the fact that Legacy was setting Permian up in bad field position early on in the ball game, and they were able to get stops, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Permian, it seems like, 38 points is still not bad, though.
No.
Offensively. No. And Gavin Black showed out as well, as you've seen every single game this year, it seems like. But yeah, I think it just came down to Legacy really found their groove tonight, scoring almost 50 points. You're going to win a lot of games scoring almost 50 points.
Now, Legacy is going to be going up against Midland High next week, but now let's flip it over to Permian. They're going with Permian, they're going to be going up against the Friendship Tigers.
That's going to be a very good game. That realistically could decide the district. That
could decide the district. If Midland High defeats Legacy next week, let's say if Permian wins next week, Permian, Friendship, and Midland High will all have the same record going forward, and you don't know who can win the district title. So this is I'm sorry. I think that tonight it was a huge upset, actually, as a matter of fact.
For Legacy over Permian?
Yes.
I don't think that's a wild statement, given the tougher start to the year for Legacy and given the 7-0 start to the year for Permian. We've seen how incredible Permian has been going into the game tonight. Permian's defense had allowed the fewest points in district games and in the entire schedule of any of the six teams, in this 6A district. So Permian, their defense has been really, really strong enough to win 7 games. I don't think anyone's defense has been spectacular this year in terms of the 6A teams, at least. But yeah, Permian's offense has been very, very good. Defense, good enough to win 7 games, but not tonight.
Yeah, now one thing that I also want to include is that Hartman, he loves to stop the run, as a matter of fact. He loves to stop the run, and I'm sure that during halftime, he said something to his team about what they were doing, and then they completely changed the game plan. Now, speaking of Clint Hartman, our own Armando Gomez spoke with him post-game. Armando, let's hear it.
Coach, congratulations on the win against Permian. How are you feeling right now, beating an undefeated team, the Permian High?
We played a very tough non-district schedule. I think we're battle-tested. We've been a little injured. We got some guys back. Hats off to Jeff Ellison and Vance Washington. It's always a war. What I'd say is it's a nationally rivalry. People called me from New York and Wisconsin for tickets this week, right? So neither side's going to give in. So, but good night for the Rebs.
And, Coach, you got Midland High next week. How are you guys looking to build off from this win against Permian?
24 hours in this one, and then you don't got to talk them into playing next week. For 7 years we hear, all in town they're gonna beat you. Well, Friday we'll see. We got one shot. But in that town, it's no different than this one. We call it the Mid-Desert Championship. We got to beat everybody in Odessa and Midland, and that's part of it. And it helps. If we do that, we're always gonna be in the playoffs. I tell them that all the time. So I'm not gonna have to talk them into playing.
Thank you, Coach. Again, congratulations on the win. Jair Jensen, back over to you guys.
Back, baby.
All right, congrats to the Rebels. How about San Angelo Central against Midland? The Bulldogs have not scored fewer than 47 points in 5 games. Here's Elijah McCoy. He's got some room to run on the quick toss. He gets about 40 yards before he's pulled down by Jacob Jackson. Here he is celebrating with his quarterback, and that's who would end off the drive. Stroman Bridges takes it to the end zone himself. Bulldogs score, and you've got to thank your O-line, as you know. You've got to salute them. Central now inside the 10. Midland's defense holding strong. It's Michael Waters who makes the stop. Central would manage a field goal. Remember Elijah McCoy's long run? This time it's Stroman Bridges who has room to run, taking it down the left sideline. A defender closing in quickly, a move inside, and he breaks that tackle. His ankle will be tapped, and he falls down at about the 5-yard line. Last time he finished the drive, this time Elijah McCoy. He pushes his way in for the score. The Bulldogs are in once again. Elijah has been eating all night, and he's about to let us know that he knows it. Now, following kickoff, that's Gavin Johnson taking it all the way for the Bobcats in for the touchdown. They cut the lead on a big special teams play. But here's Midland back on offense. Bridges with the give to Elijah McCoy. He said he was hungry. It's time to eat up more yardage. He takes it over 90 yards for the touchdown. Midland with long runs all night long. Let's check out the final score. They kept running up the score. Both teams did. Midland 56, Central 47. Central drops down to 0-3 in district. Midland up to 2-1.
Now, Jensen, when we literally just said that Midland Legacy, actually, you know what, before we even go into next week's matchup, let's just start out with what happened tonight. Midland High did not shock me at all in this game. I mean, I even had to wear a little bit of some purple for that.
Oh,
so, you know, I'm looking a little bit swagger.
Hey,
but anyway,
wait, I have the yellow. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, great win for Midland there.
You're pretty much wearing some, like, a little bit of friendship colors.
Oh.
I'm just messing around with you. I'm just messing around. I'm just messing around, guys. I'm messing around.
Hey, I just like this tie. Come on.
I can't play. I can't play.
Anyways, Midland.
But in all seriousness, though, not shocking at all, especially after what I saw last week from Stroman Bridges and Elijah McCoy. They were able to run all over that San Angelo defense. And I mean, still, though, they lost to the Friendship Tigers. They still have a chance to come out with the district title.
They do. I mean, anyone does at this point. We still have 2 games left, and it's 3-0 and then 2-1 teams. So it is anyone's district at this point.
Now, you know, enough of me talking. Jensen, you were at the game. You got to see them play up close and in person. What did you observe from Midland High tonight? Tell everybody.
They stuck to their roots. I mean, they are a run-heavy team, and it has worked. This game, last game, all season long, last year as well. It's worked for them for as long as it's needed to. They are a run-heavy team, and they can run that ball. And Elijah McCoy, he's a stud. He was our first Alert 7 player of the week, over 250 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. Tonight, I don't know the final totals yet, but he was running all over them again. Two runs over 40 yards. We saw both of them there. One of them about 90 yards. An incredible play on that one. I believe that is when they got the kickoff, and then a penalty on that forced them back about the 5-yard line. And so that long run for Elijah there. And then Stroman Bridges, we've also seen him be incredible. He's going to be going to school on scholarship. Elijah McCoy is going to be going to school on scholarship, and they very much deserve it. Midland deserves this victory, but the big thing is Central. Despite being 0-3, they are a very tough team to play. All 3 of their district games have been losses, but they've been by single digits.
That's right. Now, one thing that you told me before, so folks, Jensen texted me during both of our games that we were at, as a matter of fact, telling me that San Angelo is pretty much like a trap game, as a matter of fact.
I think it is for anyone at this point. It has been for all 3 so far.
They are not the same old Bobcats, and I think that going forward in the future, I could see San Angelo making it back to the playoffs with the way of how graduations and some seniors are going to be moving on to the next chapter of their lives. San Angelo could be a team that could come alive over the next couple of years. So it's something to keep an eye out on.
It's definitely moving in the right direction.
Before we move to more games, Jensen, I think that the audience all wants to know, and certainly me, for sure, did Midland High even throw a pass today?
They did.
Okay, then. They did. Go.
I was there for, I believe, only one that I saw.
Okay.
It was an incompletion. I'll tell you that much. Okay. So, yeah, we've seen a couple plays, a couple passing plays every single game. We're still waiting for the game when Coach Thad Fortune does not throw a single pass. That's his goal. I don't believe we've seen it yet this year, if I'm correct.
That's right. I mean, like, you know, you never know if Midland High was going to pass, but we do know one team that certainly loves to pass, or 2 teams that
I say two teams.
That's right. That is the Friendship Tigers and the Odessa Broncos.
Let's do it.
That's right. Now, on the very first play of the game, Holden Phillips, he finds Chase Gamble for the catch at about the 10-yard line. Now, Phillips scrambling, finds Campbell again, this time in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. That's for Friendship. They lead 7-0, so let's take it over to the next series. It's another Phillips to Campbell connection to set the Tigers up at about the 20-yard line. Let's see if they're going to punch it in. Phillips, he finds Leighton Stone in the opposite corner of the end zone with the amazing catch. We'll check out the final score. Friendship, they got the win 56-7. They remain undefeated in district. Odessa High, they dropped to 0-3 in district. Tough sledding for them, very tough week for them. looking back, Jensen?
Yeah, we were talking about how incredible this Friendship offense is. They've scored over 40 points in, I believe, all but one game of theirs this season, and did it again tonight. Limited Odessa to 7 points. That is their lowest total this season. Their previous lowest total was their previous game at 21 points. So not looking great for the Odessa offense without quarterback Mike Ikoto. We know that he is going to be done for at least the regular season, likely well into playoffs if Odessa can make it in.
That's right. Now, let's take a look at the District 2-6A standings. And also, Jensen, before when we're done with the standings, I have something to drop with you because it's something that I just heard from Coach Hartman.
Okay.
And I mean, it's good news, though. It's not bad news.
We like good news.
It's good news. So, just taking a look at the standings, Friendship, they are on top of the district with 3 wins, no losses. Permian at 2 wins, 1 loss. Midland High, 2 wins, 1 loss. Legacy, 2 wins, 1 loss. Odessa High, 0-3. So,
and Central 0-3 as well.
Oh, Central is 0-3 as well, but we prefer Odessa High over San Angelo
yeah.
Central, so that's why
That's
I let them on the list.
Go Broncos there. But when you look at that, I mean, you were talking about how Midland can still win the district at 2-1. Legacy can still win the district at 2-1. So can Permian. I mean, if we know that Permian is playing Friendship next week, so if Permian can beat Friendship, then they have the same record, and they will have beaten Friendship themselves. And if you look at the overall record, not that that necessarily matters, that would put them at 8-1 if they can beat Friendship. So I think everything is up for grabs, knowing that also Midland and Legacy will play it.
Now, that's actually one thing that we just spoke about that I wanted to go into with you because they will be going matchup with each other next week. Now, I said when it came to Permian versus Legacy, they love to stop the run, and I'm sure that's what happened in the second half of their game tonight.
I would love to see them try to stop the Midland run attack, though. Last
year, they were able to stop the Midland run attack, as a matter of fact, in the second half. In the second half, they were able to do that last year. And I mean, I'm sure that Clint Harbin, he already knows what Midland High is going to bring. It's no secret that they're going to bring out the triple option offense.
Yes.
What are you expecting next week from that game?
I'm expecting a lot more of what we saw tonight from the Midland Bulldogs, at least. It's going to be, as we know, a lot of runs and a lot of success for Stroman Bridges and Elijah McCoy. We also see quite often some good toss-outs to Cutter Lang on the outside. Yeah. He finds his way for a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yardage as well. So from what I've seen from Midland, it's hard to think that they won't just run up the score, run the ball, just gain so much yardage, put themselves in good positions, because that's all that we've seen the Midland Bulldogs do this year. Yes, Legacy took them down last year, and it's the same coaching staff for the most part on both sides, but it's also a different Legacy team this year.
That is the key. I mean, they had a bit of some trouble trying to stop Gavin Black. And also the pass became
I think anyone would have trouble stopping Gavin Black.
That is true. Now, before we move on, I just want to give a quick shout out to Clint Hartman. He's my new official haircut buddy.
Is that so?
Yeah, Clint Hartman is
Did he give you a haircut?
No, he didn't give me a haircut.
Okay. I was about to say, he's also got some skills, too.
No. Clint Hartman did not give me a haircut.
Okay.
But Jensen, you know me. I go to Off the Wall Barbershop in Midland, and So Clint Harbin, we were both getting lined up the other day, and I'm sure, maybe their haircuts gave us good luck heading into tonight. But tonight, but there was some more games going on tonight. Greenwood, they got the win over the Fort Stockton Panthers, 61-26. Greenwood, they are now 2-0 in district. They will face Seminole next week, a pretty big matchup. Fort Stockton is going to be at Monahans next week. They are 1-2 in district, and they are 6-3 overall on the season.
I want to highlight that Greenwood against Central game. I think that's more than just a good matchup. I think that is the matchup of the season for both teams and for that 4A district. Seminole, they got a win tonight against Snyder, so they remain undefeated at now 8-0. That's going to be a huge game between those two, Seminole and Greenwood. How about some more games? The Pecos Eagles up against the Lakeview Chiefs. This one went to overtime. Pecos, they get the win, 45-37. Pecos 1-0 now in district, just 3-5 though. Overall, that still remains the best record in the district.
Yes, that's right. There were some more games going on, right, Jensen?
Yes, let's get to it. Crane and Compass. It was a great night to be a fan of the Golden Cranes. Here, Tyson Brents throws way deep. He's got his man. That is Baldemar Aguirre Guzman. He's running all, but he's brought down just a couple of yards to go. To end off the drive, Brent tosses for Gracine Huertas. Touchdown for the Cranes. A beautiful sunset behind them as they celebrate. This time, Brent gives to Angel Reyes. He's got room to run. He will find the painted grass. Touchdown, Cranes. Compass could not get much going on either side of the ball. They only managed 3 points, getting their 6th loss of the year. Crane 22, Compass 3. That is Crane's 2nd win in district. Compass's only 2 wins all year have come in district, though.
That's pretty good for the Compass. Well, I mean,
the Crane Golden Cranes, maybe.
Yeah, pretty good for Crane. They were able to get some wins in district, which is very, very needed. As for Compass, started off pretty hot. Hasn't been a good couple of weeks for them, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they started off 0-4, then won 2 straight, now losing 2 straight. So lots of ups and downs for Compass this year. Hopefully they can find a little bit of balance. I think it is time to take a look at our Band of the Week, shall we?
Yep.
Here's tonight's Band of the Week, brought to you by America's Wholesale Furniture.
We have the Permian Panthers Band and the Legacy Rebel Band face off for Band of the Week. Let's see the final results. It was Permian. They got the win 4,037 to Legacy's 2,691. Total votes 6,728.
Let's hear from the band.
Jensen, we had more games going on tonight. Our own Sierra Burnett was at the All Saints versus Midland Christian game. She has the highlights for us.
Yeah, it's been a rough start for the home team, Midland Christian Mustangs, as they are down at halftime, 21-6. Now, the visiting Saints, they came to play. They scored 3 touchdowns on their first 3 drives. Let's look at the first half highlights. Jackson Knapp runs out of the pocket to find Connor McCurdy for the first touchdown of the night. Now Knapp finds himself scrambling again and finds Bryce Anderson in the back of the end zone for their 2nd touchdown. Knapp once again scrambling to his right. Then he throws a long pass to Jake Powers for their 3rd consecutive touchdown. The Saints go for 2 and they convert with a touchdown pass to Hudson Reeser from Jake Knapp. Now the Saints have the ball again, and Jake Knapp throws an interception to Caden Bishop as he runs it back for a few more yards. The Mustangs have the ball close to the end zone, and quarterback Avery Morgan fakes a handoff, then throws a long pass to Stacey Jones for the Mustangs' first touchdown.
There you go. That is the win for the Fort Worth All Saints against the Midland Christian Mustangs, 49-28. Midland Christian, that is their first loss in district. They were 2-0, going into the game. So let's get to some more games, though. We have a pretty great matchup once you see it between the Big Spring Steers and the Andrews Mustangs. Armando Gomez has those highlights. Armando?
This is the first district matchup for both teams as they're looking to win their first game in district play. Andrews' first possession of the game, Cade Adams fakes a handoff and he sets his feet looking for a throw and he launches towards the end zone in a fight for the ball between McKinley Spinoza and Jacoby Lozano, and the referee signals a touchdown for the Mustangs. Andrew misses the extra point. Big Spring in the red zone. AJ Yanez pumps fake and get past the defender and he dials his own number and he scores a 6-yard touchdown to take a 1-point lead. Andrews looking to retake the lead. Adams hands it off to Leroy Milan for an easy touchdown to retake the lead 14-7. Mustang scores a 2-point conversion. Big Spring looking to tie it up, but Yanez throws an interception and Brady Kelly reading the quarterback eyes all the way and Mustang defense steps up. Mustangs going quickly, a handoff to Jamison DeBose and he walks in for an easy 15-yard touchdown. The first quarter score, Andrews 21 and Big Spring 7.
Well, that first half was not telling of what Andrews would do in the second half. 50 more points scored as the Mustangs get their 2nd win of the year, 71-14. Huge win for Andrews. Again, second win of the year. Their first win came in week 1. So it's been over a month and a half since the Andrews Mustangs have seen a win come out of their team, really. And big one to come back to tonight.
Tough sledding for the Andrews Mustangs and the Big Spring Steers, but now Andrews, they believe that they could go very, very far this year when it comes to district and when it comes to the playoffs.
And district is what counts. Let's get to some more scores. How about Alpine at Anthony? A big win for the Alpine Fighting Bucks, 59-22. Alpine is now 4-0 in district. Huge for them after starting off 0-4. They're now 4-0. Big for the Bucks.
That's a very small district. A lot of round robin going on, especially when they're going to have to be going up against Crane and the Odessa Compass Cougars. Again, we're going to see who the real champion is. Now, in more games tonight, La Mesa, the Tornadoes, took down Kermit 49-18. Kermit drops to 1-7 overall in the season, and they are 0-1 in district.
Yeah, definitely a tough year for Kermit. They've been on the road for a lot of it, but due to some renovations going on to the stadium. So hopefully they can take advantage of that going into next year. But I mean, hey, this year is not done yet, but 1-7 to start is not where you want to be.
Absolutely. And then more games tonight. The Stanton Buffaloes, they got the win over Merkel, 39-31. Stanton is now 2-0 in district. They will be at Oklahoma next week. So Jensen, we started off the whole entire season with a lot of our teams playing against a lot of our teams, and we went through a trend of it not happening as often, but I guess that we're back to that trend right now.
That's what happens when you get into district play. That should be a very fun matchup for Stanton against Coahoma. All right, let's get to our first Alert 7 Player of the Week.
The Player of the Week is brought to you by Ranger Clinic.
The first Alert 7 Player of the Week is senior Midland Bulldogs running back Elijah McCoy. You see him right there in Midland's 54-21 win over the Odessa Broncos last week. Elijah racked up 259 yards on 21 carries, scoring 3 touchdowns. Games like these tell Elijah that the run-heavy system the team plays does indeed work for him. He just has to trust it.
Even if it doesn't work one play, I know that it's going to open up soon because we have other dogs going to the outside or going to the left, right. It's going to open up soon for me, so I just be patient and do what I have to do to help the guys get the yardage too.
Well, I'd say just about everyone got a bunch of yardage today for the Midland Bulldogs in a big, big win over Central. How about some more games, shall we?
Yes, that's right. Now, McCamey, they fell to the Iron Ann Braves 41-15, and as for Reagan County, they took down Sonora 20-7. Reagan County, they're actually having a very good season, Jensen.
They definitely are. Not too bad for Reagan County. How about some more scores? Forsan getting their second win of the year against Cristobal this time around, 36-15. Now look at that. Wink, the Wildcats, 41-point shutout over Sterling City. I'd say they are definitely earning that number 8 ranking is the Wink Wildcats.
I don't think that they've earned that number 8 ranking. I think that they've earned higher than that.
You know what? That's a fair point. I was a little bit surprised when you were saying that they didn't earn that. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but okay, I like where you're going.
Do you know who probably earns an even higher ranking? It is the Buena Vista Longhorns.
And they have one.
That's right. Now, sounds like a pretty tough night for Buena Vista. They got the win 60-48 over Garden City. Now, Garden City, not the best season for them, especially compared to years past.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm actually shocked that this was as close of a game as it is. I'm sure people at home are like, no, Jair wasn't as close, but I'm telling you, this is actually a very close game. But a game that wasn't really close was the Rankin Red Devils. They took down the Marfa Shorthorns 54-6.
Yeah, Rankin, big win there. 2 wins in district for them, 2-1. Marfa drops down to 0-2, as does Garden City. But yeah, 2-6 now on the entire year for Garden City, and they take it to the undefeated Buena Vista Longhorns. Buena Vista does, though, get it done. They are 8-0, one of just 2 undefeated teams in our surrounding districts. The other one is the Seminole Indians.
That is right, and the Permian Panthers are
no more for Mojo. Alrighty, let's get to some more scores. How about Balmaray and Grand Falls? Big one for Grand Falls, 64-51 over the Bears. And it's Grand Falls' first win in district because, well, it's the first game in district.
That is right, the first game in district, but still, though, for Balmaray to get a loss, I mean, honestly, every single time that Balmorhea loses here on out, if they lose, I'm just gonna be like Kevin from Home Alone, just be like, oh my God. Like, yeah, no, I'm actually like really shocked about that one.
Yeah, a bit of a surprising one there. And also, as we look ahead for both these two teams, both of them are taking on Sanderson. Speaking of Sanderson, how about their game against Fort Davis? They got the win. Fort Davis was leading for the majority of the game. Sanderson comes from behind to take the very high-scoring win, 74-68 over the Fort Davis Indians. And then the Sands Mustangs get a big win over the Loop Longhorns, 56-42. Jair, we've had a great night of games in our district play. I mean, we know that we knew going into the district schedule it was going to be exciting. I mean, it's living up to it, I would say.
I would say so. I mean, like I said, after what Legacy was able to do last week against the Friendship Tigers, pretty down year so far for them, but it gave me a lot of hope heading into tonight against Permian, and I felt like, there's a chance that I could be quote-unquote shocked about the results. As for Midland High, I'm shocked that game was as close as it was, but I'm not shocked that they pulled out the win.
I'm honestly not too shocked that was a close game for Midland. We've seen the 3 games for Central, all losses, but all by just single digits. So they're a scary team, but yeah, 0-3 is not where you want to be. 2-1, well on your way, but Friendship 3-0, definitely on their way to winning that district.
That's right. Now, as we close it out, Midland High going up against Midland Legacy next week. That should be a very intense game. Whoever could win that game could create a stronger case for themselves to win the district. As for the Permian Panthers and the Friendship Tigers, that is going to be,
that could be the decider, realistically. If Friendship wins that, that'll put them 4-0. It's kind of out of touching distance, almost.
You never know with District 2-6A, folks.
Yes. All right, thanks so much for joining us here on our YouTube channel. We enjoyed being here, as always, with you. We'll be back for more next week. Have a great night.
Same time.